4 equal spaces where I can draw each of my thumbnails. So this is when I can, you know, reference my thumbnail sheet. I'm going to have it off to the side so I can look at it, and I'm going to have my object too so I can look at it as I'm drawing it. So my first rectangle or square is going to be from this view. So just straight, flat from the top. I'm going to do my best to draw it. And even though this isn't my most interesting angle, I do want to make sure that the viewer knows what they're looking at. So I wanted to include a drawing of the whole object. And for your object, you guys, you can choose anything that is laying around your house. Obviously, as long as it is school appropriate. So you could use a pair of scissors, a tissue box, you could use a bottle of glue, a remote control, or a controller if you play like Xbox or PlayStation. So there's my basic shape. Now I want to add this cute little spring coil. I really like it. And it goes up here. And there's a notch in the side. All right, so there's my first drawing. You can see, you know, your hand might cause some smudges on the canvas. You can always erase those or leave them, you know, you will paint over it eventually. So that's my first one. My next view is just the top. So to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to have it coming in from this angle, zoomed in on just the top over here. Okay, so I have my object in front of me while I'm drawing. That's important. Make it as, you know, realistic as possible. Again, you do not have to choose anything super complicated. If you are nervous about drawing, you could choose something more simple than the object that I have chosen here. So that was a pretty easy angle to draw it from, and it's interesting, you know, it's coming in from a different direction. Now my next drawing is a little more complicated. It's kind of like the top view of this. And I'm going to do that in this square. It doesn't matter, guys, whichever order you want to draw them in. It's not, you know, it doesn't have to be drawn in a specific order. Drawing from the top. And there's rounded corners, and then it comes down. Okay, so good enough. And you can see it's not the exact same as my thumbnail because I accidentally drew it a little bit bigger. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be the exact thing that you drew on your thumbnail, just pretty close. And then the last one, I have like a a zoomed in sketch of the spring here because I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm going to draw that in this square. And I have my object, I'm looking at it, and I'm also looking at my thumbnail sketch. And just drawing it. So it kind of looks like a spring, and I'll paint it in later. And then the legs of this clothespin. That's a pretty interesting angle too. All right, so I'm done with my sketch, and this is my sketch for my color complement painting. You're choosing one object and you're drawing it from 4 different angles. In the next video, I'll go over how to paint it in with complementary colors.